What is up, guys? Eric here from EVM Productions, here with another video. This time I'm talking again about Bleach. So I got to the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, and I wanted to rewatch that as well, just to have full context, etc., blah, blah, blah. But the problem is, the dub is gone. Like, it was 2 episodes of dub, and then suddenly, in the first season, there's no more dub. And I'm like, okay, and I Googled it. Apparently, everything should have been dubbed, and I remember watching this dubbed. I didn't watch it subbed the first time. So I'm confused, unless I'm wrong and I just misremembering it. The Mandela effect is happening there. Anywho, I have a problem that other people have brought up about Bleach before. Let me just move you guys a little bit back. So I have a problem. The problem is, okay, I'm just going to pepper the ones off the top of my head real quick, because I actually want to get to the UFC boxing videos, especially with Crawford versus Canelo, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I want to make those videos as quick as possible. This is not that super interesting right now. Anyhow, problem with Bleach. Many people say that the casuals and the guys that don't really know their shit claim that the show falls off dramatically post Soul Society arc. And to those guys, I'm like, why are you disagreeing with that? Because it is very true. Especially with the constant bloody filler arcs, filler episodes, filler arcs, filler episodes, filler arcs. It was shit. Nothing of note happened on them. Like, I went and checked when they started happening on my recent rewatch. I was like, okay, let me go check. Is there anything I need to see in this? And is there anything of note to the main plot or even character development, etc.? And I remember only 1 or 2 has moments with character development and so forth. But yeah, there weren't many. And I was like, then why was this put in? And the only thing I can think of is Kubo was under a lot of pressure, I remember, and a lot of personal stuff happened, blah, 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 blah. And that stuff leaked over into his art. And also, I think they really did run out of a lot of ideas, because Ichigo is the big, strong dude, and they didn't really know how to give him challenges outside of Aizen. And even with Aizen, they really handled it wrong, in my opinion. I'm going to make a separate video about that. But they really didn't handle it right. So, outside of the filler arcs and how the show really did fall off a cliff after the Soul Society arc, a problem that I had is a lot of these filler arcs and other arcs didn't feel like they have like solid conclusions. They didn't really feel like they mattered. Solid conclusions, satisfying endings, any character development for anybody, like anybody. And then they dragged. They very much dragged. Now, a lot of people watching the Soul Society arc will be like, it drags on. Meanwhile, everything has a reason for it. So everything that happens that drags is there for a reason. In these other arcs, it's just there. It's just them dragging you through the crap for no reason. So I can argue that you need to sit through the Soul Society's parts because it will eventually pay dividends. It will pay itself off. But with this other stuff, it's just pointless. And the humor inserted in between, pointless. A lot of the characters, pointless. The Fullbring arc, to me, felt pointless. Because Ichigo, the only redeeming part of it is Ichigo getting his Soul Reaper powers back. I was like, why didn't you guys just get a different arc where he gets his Soul Reaper powers back? Why focus on this aspect without involving Chad? Like, why not use this to develop Chad? Give Chad a big win. Give him another interesting backstory, etc. Instead, it was all Ichigo again, And in the end, it moves away from Chad and towards Soul Reapers again. I was like, I understand it's the main character, but why not give these other characters a little bit of time to grow? It was so dumb. Really horrible. And also the way that the Gote 13 kind of knew about everything and let it happen and then just jumped in to help. And also then giving them their power, Ichigo their powers. Like, what? What? He was an enemy at one point, and yes, he helped them, but they don't owe him shit like that. Like, no, like, group or government, etc., of protectors, etc., for thousands of years would do that. Never. Never, ever, ever. Unless, no, they wouldn't, even with the Aizen situation. Because in the end, it was Kisuke that sorted that situation out. You see? It just goes back to bad writing. Bad writing. And a lot of other factors, obviously, that created the bad writing. I would have much rather have Ichigo gotten less strong with his full bring while still helping Chad defeat the big bad in this situation. And the rest where he just asks that he becomes a substitute Soul Reaper, it's still cool, but the way he did it, I didn't like how they handled it. Like, he sounded like an arrogant, cocky kid towards Yamamoto, who he shouldn't be like acting that way. Like, I would have liked him going to the Soul Society after having his full bring powers awakened, blah blah blah, and asking if he can be a substitute Soul Reaper without the powers via his full bring and still fight hollows, etc. If they said we can arrange something like that, the Ginjo burial, no, doesn't make sense. What the? But anyway, but the rest, if that happened, and they said that's fine, you have new powers, so you can fight hollows, we support you. And he did it in a respectful way to Yamamoto. He wasn't like a cocky asshole, which makes my head hurt. Anyhow, and after that, we needed the arc. I don't know. I remember that there's a different arc in between, but that's again probably the Mandela effect in my head, which I'll just do my homework afterwards to see if the manga, etc. is there. Yeah, if that happened, Ichigo uses his full bring alongside his re-attained Soul Reaper powers. If that happened, then it would have made a lot more sense of him being so strong in the Thousand Year Blood War, and also it would have given him new powers, new abilities to use in different ways. Plus, if he had his Quincy powers kind of fixed and sorted out as well, that would have made a lot more sense. It would have been a lot more cool. Plus, then the next arc could have been fully for Uryu and not just, oh, the Thousand Year Blood War is actually for Uryu. And then, obviously, Ichigo saves the day alongside Aizen and so forth. They missed the opportunity there. Now, I understand about the whole backstory about the Thousand Year Blood War, blah, 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 but yeah. And then, for the whole show as a whole, I fully agree that the show is not that good. Like, I think a lot of us really loved the show because of nostalgia bias, and because nostalgia bias in relation to the Soul Society arc by a ton, and then the Aranka arc, Sparas, all that stuff. That was really cool, but the rest, it's just ass. And then even in those areas with the Espadas or Rankas, etc., they really made a lot of mistakes. And to me, that blemishes my view of the whole show. Like, one of the shows that's popping up, the ad is popping up right now, Neon Genesis Evangelion, a lot better. A lot better. And so much more complex if you really think about it. Berserk, way better. Way better as an anime. Dragon Ball competes with Bleach, as most people would say. One Piece, I need to go through it again. I don't have a solid opinion of One Piece yet, but let's say I think actually it's quite competitive after this rewatch. stuff like Demon Slayer, definitely for the small amount of time that it was very good. The first 3 seasons, wink wink, it was comparable but a little bit watered down. Jujutsu, same thing, but I don't think it's on the same level fully, but it's still comparable, and that's kind of bad in my opinion. Baki, to me, the original series was a lot better. Sorry, I know there's a lot of wacky shit that happens, but it was a lot better. I love Baki, especially because the old days it was more about just fighting and learning skills than wacky ways of winning fights and wacky kills and wacky everything. But it was already going in that direction, which, like, the Pickle arc was so cool. Baki fighting Yujiro, very good. And then, you see, already I'm thinking about it, like, solidly overall. What other shows? Yu Yu Hakusho, I have to rewatch it fully to give my proper opinion, but still, there's many animes. The point I'm trying to make is, Bleach wasn't as good as I remember. And my personal nostalgia bias has hit again. Which sucks. It kind of sucks. Because it's like realizing that something that you used to love is not that good. But I would still rewatch it for the Soul Society arc. Then I'd skip straight to the Espadas Arranca, etc. And then the Thousand Year Blood War, and then I would close the page. Only problem is that's so much that you're missing out on. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think. Am I wrong? I'll watch some videos explaining maybe why I'm wrong, just because I'm curious what other people think, because there's a lot of issues that I had with Bleach this time around. A lot of them. Writing-wise, everything. Like, what's the guy's name, man? The YouTuber. Zimmerman, I think it's him. Or the other guy that also does Bleach content. I'm sorry if I forgot your name. It's 11 at night. He just asked the crowd, well, chat, whatever, community, sorry, if Ichigo's development was stunted, like he had like none. And I would say he had minimal. He had minimal, because the last bit of character development was just before he fought Aizen. That's horrible. It's like, oh, damn, that's horrible. Anyway, that was my opinion, guys. I give the whole show a 6 out of 10 right now, which is bad. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Blah, blah, blah. Cheers.